A very good afternoon to you all, and thank you for joining us today. We are very happy to have you. So, today is going to be a very interesting session, but before we get right into it, may we have an opening prayer from Lord Win. Lord Win, may you please pray for us.
Okay, thank you so much, MC, for the opportunity. Let us bow our heads and pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful moment that you've given us. We thank you, Heavenly Father, we have gathered here as your children, and you have said, when two or three are gathered in my name, I shall be amongst them. Father, we thank you that we've gathered here, Almighty God, for your cause. We've gathered here, Almighty God, to acquire knowledge, and to acquire knowledge that is going to help us, Heavenly Father. May you help us to understand, and not just understand, but also be able to apply, Heavenly Father, that we're going to be the salt of the earth, Heavenly Father, that we're going to move around in the world, oh my God, to be the Bible that they read and to be the written epistles, oh my God, that preach goodness about you. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for each and every person that is connected here. May you bless them abundantly. May you fulfill the wishes and desires of their hearts. May you going to be with them, Heavenly Father. We thank you, Almighty God. We thank you for this platform. We thank you for the organizers of this platform. We thank you for having them. We thank you for all the resources that are being channeled towards us getting this relevant knowledge. We thank you. May you going to be with them. May you going to bless each and everyone abundantly. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much for that, Lord Win. So, a few housekeeping rules before we start this exciting journey. Sorry, my name is Lomasati Guguletu Ngube, and today I'm going to be your host. And for the housekeeping rules, let's make sure that we all have notebooks and pens or just somewhere where you can jot down some notes because a leader needs to take notes at all times. And I'd like to remind you to keep your gadget on mute, and you can only unmute when you are asked to. And in case you're leaving the meeting briefly, kindly switch off your camera and you can switch on your video when you are asked to say something or when you have something to say. And feel free, of course, to use the chat box if you have questions or if you just need clarification about anything. And um that being said, let's just hop into the exciting journey that we are going to have today. I'm going to welcome our guest speaker for today, and today we are going to have a very exciting guest, who is Mr. Mkondisi, and he is the founder of. Sorry, I need to confirm something. Um, so today our guest speaker is going to be Mr. Mkondisi, and I'm going to ask Pastor Minashe to just welcome Mr. Mkondisi and give us just a brief bio about him.
Yes, while we are waiting for Pastor Mnash, over to you, Mr. Grondiso Trust, and so that you can take us throughout this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Trust Nhokovedzo. I'm the founder of Afro Digital, which is digital skills for various things. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to connect with you from all over Africa and other places that you are. So today I'm going to be talking about social media and how it affects our lives and how we can use it to advance our lives and our careers. All right, so I'm just gonna show you something in a moment. All right. So this is what we will be talking about. So first of all, my orientation is going to be towards using social media to advance your career, to advance your life, and maybe to entrepreneurial journey. And I'm going to start probably a step back where the topic there says social media marketing. And I will assume that the bulk of us or most of us would know what social media is, like the platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, WhatsApp, and all these platforms. This is what is called social media. And I don't think the technical definition of social media would help you. But I want to take a step back and look at what maybe marketing is just a moment so that we are all clear. So marketing, generally speaking, is an effort to make a product or a service known by people that you are targeting. So, and when you're doing marketing, you want people to know that you exist. You want to know people. You want people to know what you're offering them. You want people to know what they will be able to get from you or the business that you represent. So that's what marketing is. And now the next question that comes next would be, why would be marketing important? So firstly, marketing becomes important in that the products that we know or the services that we know and the people that we know are not necessarily the best out there. They're not necessarily the ones that are like at the top of the ladder in terms of excellency, in terms of proficiency, even in terms of being the best product. But the products that we know and the people that we know are all things that have been marketed to us. All right. So when we have a very good accountant or a very good student who is looking for attachment for someone, and they're really the best student in their class, whatever university they are, they may really struggle to actually get a placement because they are not well marketed. So the fact that a product is really good doesn't mean that it's going to do well on its own. Or the fact that somebody is really good in their work or really good, maybe well behaved, or is a good Christian, does not mean that they're going to do well just on the merit that they are the best. So there has to be marketing, which is an effort to make people aware of what you can offer them, what you can do, the problems that you can help them solve. This applies to people and also applies to products. So this is why the marketing is important. And I just want to say that generally as a Christian community, one of the challenges that we face is that of timidity. We face the challenge of timidity as Christians, where we feel that if we are good, maybe God is going to promote us, or God is just going to make a way for us to be like loud and to be known, and it's going to bring business our way, or it's going to just organize a job for me. And I've suffered from that myself for a long time. And it's something that I wish none of us would go through. And so how is that problem solved? That problem is solved by what we are discussing here, which is marketing. And we are going to look at how to use social media so that we can market ourselves and what we do in a more powerful way. So the next thing that I will talk about, the next question that I will answer is, how can social media help you advance your life and whatever? So what happens is, when you talk about marketing, which is publishing things, which is getting things known, and you're basically marketing solutions, and you are marketing people, which is called personal branding, or you are marketing products that you have, and positioning yourself as a solver of specific problems. So having said that, there are generally two different ways or two broad ways of doing marketing. There is what's called traditional marketing, which is billboards and flyers and radio and TV and all these things which do not have internet involved. Then there's a broader section again, which is called digital marketing, where there's emails, there's internet-based things, there's Facebook and Google and all these things. Now, in that digital section, that's where social media is found. And social media is platforms where people go to socialize, they go to connect, they go to find out what's going on. People are there primarily not to do anything commercial, basically, but they're there to just network with others and connect with others. And now we are looking at how can this these platforms then help you to advance your life, your career, and your entrepreneurship. So the best thing here is that when you are good at what you do, right? You are a professional in something. You are a service provider in something. You are good at what you do. People do not know that you are good at what you do. You need to tell them, and your effort to tell them, the effort to let them know, is what is marketing. And now we are talking about doing that marketing using these digital platforms. So it is true, and I have experienced in many ways how these platforms can help you to advance your life. So I'm just going to tell you a short story here to illustrate that it can help you advance your life, your career, and your entrepreneurial efforts. So the story goes like this. In 2017, I was privileged to be hired by Google to do Google Digital Skills Training in Zimbabwe. I was the lead trainer for that effort in 2017. So what happened was I began to share my journey. Like if I go to a company, I'll take pictures and share them on social media, on my social media platforms, on my Facebook and on my LinkedIn. Those are I'm mostly active on LinkedIn, then secondarily on Facebook, and then the other ones are there, but they are not so active. So I was sharing these experiences. I went to this company, I take pictures, I put it there. And one of the things that happened there is that while I was still doing the Google Digital Skills Training, there's a guy who is in the UK who is kind of following what's happening in Zimbabwe digitally. And he contacted me on LinkedIn. We had a long chat, we discussed. This guy was looking for Zimbabweans who can work there and all that. And the long story short, I actually landed a job in the UK, like a remote job, and I began to work there. And that really advanced my digital marketing experience and my digital career. So through what I was doing and sharing on social media, I got that connection and I was able to have that remote work. And honestly, during the COVID and pre-COVID era, we were really privileged to be working remotely, and a lot of other positive things happen there. So truly, social media can and will, if used properly, advance your life, your career, and your entrepreneurial efforts. All right. So the next thing that I'm going to look at, and like the MC said, if you have any questions, please type it in so that when we come to that section of question and answer, we should be able to go through your questions and get it clarified. So what is so powerful maybe about social media? What's so powerful about social media is that, firstly, there are billions of people online. All sorts of people are online. People in different countries, people in different locations, people with different interests are online. So there's a whole lot of people. And if you are a marketer, which I am, I transitioned into, maybe I should say, maybe at the point I'll share that story. I transitioned into a marketer, but actually I went to school to do computer science. I did computer science at Queen's University. And I transitioned into a marketer. So there are billions of people. And if you want to let people know about something, you go where the crowds are. And digitally speaking, or in the digital world, the crowds are on social media. So when you position yourself there, or you position your brand there, then you are doing well, because your mission of being known, or your mission of a product being known, happens much easier on social media. So it's very powerful. But this power that social media has, it does work for the good. It also does work for the negative. Like if somebody does something that is wrong, something that's going to destroy their image, something that's going to destroy their brand, then it's also going to be so loud, because it's happening on a popular platform. Then the other power that it has is that it connects people. It helps you to build relationships and share ideas. So like I was sharing a story that I managed to connect with the guy who was in the US, he's called in the UK, called Ralph. We built a relationship. At a point, he traveled to Zimbabwe. We had conferences together. We have a relationship, if I would say, and it came through the social media. And while we are saying that social media can help you to develop relationships, I should balance it off by saying there are also predators online. Not everybody who is online is a good person, just like not everybody in the streets is a good person. So you don't want to open your life, you don't want to open your life up to everybody who comes through social media, because things can really go bad. A few days ago, I heard a story of a lady who got into a relationship with a guy who was in another country on social media. They connected, they had a relationship, they shared WhatsApp numbers, they finally met. And after maybe about 6 months or so, then they were in a relationship, like a love relationship. And they They went to meet their parents and all that. Then they got married. Unfortunately, after maybe about 5-6 months of marriage, the lady was expecting and all those kind of pressures. And then the guy announced that he's going back to the country that he came from. And it's like he was not ready to take the lady with him and all that. And the relationship got messed up and whatever. And the thing I'm sharing now is, in as much as we build relationships online, that leads to good things in business, good things in life, and advancement of your career. You also want to be very careful with whom you open your life to on social media, because very negative things do happen on the same platform. So that same power of connecting with people and building relationships can also really destroy you if you are not careful and you connect with the wrong person. Then the other power of social media is that you're able to market yourself. What social media does, or what digital platforms do, is that they put everybody on the same level. There's the same Facebook we are using is the same Facebook that Elon Musk is using. It's the same Twitter or X that Elon Musk is using. It's the same LinkedIn that all these powerful people are using. The same platform that your small business is using is the same one that these big businesses across the African continent are also using. So it kind of put us on the same level. So if you are not able to use social media to advantage, it's not that you have been a privilege has been taken away from you. It's only that you don't have the skills and the knowledge on how to use it to advantage, and which is why we are here and we are learning for that. So you use it to market yourself. You use it to also market your business so that you can grow, you can develop, you can reach further. And just by the way, probably I may not get a chance to say it again. One of the rules of social media for those who are in business is that you want to create the best impression of yourself on social media, of your business, of your products, and of what you do. And you want to do this so that whatever is seen on social media about you or your brand should not be demeaning, should not be bringing you down or low, but should really be giving a very fair and a very good impression of what you do, so that what people interact with and see online should give them strong confidence to go further with you. So these are the three things that I will share about the power of social media. And I guess I've balanced between the positive and the network and the negative within that space. Then the next thing is, so how do you use social media well? How do you get to enjoy the power of social media? So firstly, one is to create profiles. You will not have access to social media if you don't have profiles. And there are basically two types of profiles on social media, on almost all the platforms. There's personal profiles, which is people. When I have a personal profile, then Afro Digital as a business also has its own profile as a business. One of the mistakes people make is to create personal profiles for their businesses. It's a mistake. For example, using Facebook as an example, when you are on Facebook, you can only have a Facebook page for a company, which they've changed into a profile in a way, but it's a page for a business. And then for yourself, you have a personal profile. So you want to have profiles. On any platform you want to interact with people or connect with people on, you want to have profiles there. So that's the first thing. And when you create your profiles, you want to have them in the best state. And I'm just going to use this example here. There are a lot of us here who are either on our way to become professionals or are already professionals in certain different areas of business and life. One of the most powerful platforms that we as a people have not used very well is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not an exciting platform, as in you get a lot of news and things that are flashy and trendy stuff, but you get a lot of high value people on LinkedIn, professionals. You get a lot of high value opportunities there. I'll give you an example. As a business, we have been hiring people over the years. And one of the tricks that we've used to automatically screen people is that we simply post our adverts and ask people to apply on LinkedIn. So by doing that, naturally speaking, you get a high quality people. You get people who know what they're doing. They are generally tech savvy because we are a technology business. They're generally tech savvy and they're generally confident people. So I want to advise everybody who's watching and listening, if you are interested in careers, you're interested in advancing you get a job one day, do this, find the job placement or whatever, you want to take your LinkedIn profile seriously. So on your profile, firstly, you need a very good picture. I know people may not take this seriously, but I know you have a good phone, but you may not be the best photographer to produce the best pictures of you. So I would advise you to go to a professional photographer, get a very nice headshot done, and put it on your profile, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or anything. And generally, if you are doing this for career and you want to use the same profile picture on all your platforms, so that people who connect with you in one profile can connect with you on the rest of the profiles. So you want to have that, and you want to be able to say things that are relevant on those platforms. Then the second tip of how to use social media is that you want to post content that is on a regular basis. And this is where the general issue comes. When we talk about posting content, you have to be kind of clear why you're on social media, and you have to have your values in place. Social media is a jungle. People get lost there. And I'll take this example, which I hope it to be appropriate. We have had a series of people, especially young ladies, who are becoming influencers online. And they want to use, when they have a huge following, this is actually, okay, let me explain this influencer thing first. What happens is that when you have a huge following online, like you have got 1 million people, for example, or several thousands of people, you have business opportunities with that. Firstly, smaller businesses and people with less following than you will come to you and ask you to advertise for them. So you charge them per post. Some people charge $20, some people charge $50, some people charge $500, some people charge $5,000, depending on who they are and the market they're operating and who are the business that are coming to them. So that's like becoming an influencer. So this is become kind of an easy source of money for a lot of young people, and even older people as well. So what happens is, in their hunger of getting a lot of followers or a huge following, people end up doing things that are inappropriate. I mean, in our Christian circles, inappropriate. People lose their values. You see that the first time the young girl was posting on Instagram, she was posting a nice pictures as she was going to church, like with a nice dress as she was at church. Then you see that 3 months down the line, she's posting her pictures. She's in the house, the skirt is getting shorter and shorter, and the top is becoming more and more revealing. And of course, the more revealing and the more things become, the higher the following the person gets. And as the following is growing bigger, of course, people come with higher bids in terms of, can you market this for us? Can you post this for us? Can you post my products for me? And then they get paid. So you as you are posting regularly, which is what I'm saying by you have to post regularly to use social media well. You have to post regularly on things that align with your goals, things that align with your values, and things that align with your long-term goals. And I want to talk about long-term goals, because sometimes people do things for temporary reasons, and then their brand doesn't change. You know, when I mention Coca-Cola today, you do not associate Coca-Cola with construction. You do not associate Coca-Cola maybe with hair products. You know, you associate it with food, you associate it with drink, refreshment, and maybe sports in high school. So when you create a brand or an image of yourself as somebody who undresses on social media, all right, and it's going to be permanent. And you should know that the people who know you, even in the real world, in the physical world, they also follow you on social media. So that impression of you with that you have created on social media is going to stay for the long run. There are people who know me as a digital person. They don't know that I'm a pastor. They don't know that I have a family. They don't know where I stay. They don't know whether I drive or I don't drive. They don't know. They just don't know that Trust is a social media person and is good at what he does, right? So the impression I've created about myself becoming a social media person is going to last for a long time. It's in most people's life who meet me digitally, they may never know anything else that I do except that. So when you are posting, the posts that you make, they are associated with you, including the forwards, including the jokes, including the things that you just made that you found funny. There is a lot of stuff that I find funny on social media that I don't share. Not because I I'm not enjoying it, or because I don't want my network to know about it, but because I don't want to be associated with it. There are a lot of things that I hear that I also don't tell back or say back, because I don't want that to be associated with my plan. And that's the part that really becomes important when it comes to posting. So definitely, if you want to build a career, you have to be posting things that have to do with career advancement, what you're learning, the certifications that you have, the place that you went, the conferences that you're attending, things that have to do with your career, the engagements, the high-profile person in your industry that you made by the restaurant, the chats you have. You want to share that so that you advance your career. If an entrepreneur, you want to share how you have been helping smaller businesses to do better, how you've been helping your clients, how people have been believing in you and they have benefited, how some people doubted you but gave you a small chance and you outshined your competition, whatever. You want to be sharing things that advance your purpose. If you don't have a purpose and a reason to be on social media, it is best for you to say nothing. It is best for you to be quiet because, and like some young people, you have not decided your direction with life. You have not decided, like one of my big dilemmas on this was really, do I want to be known as a digital marketer? Do I want to be known as a pastor? Because I am a part-time pastor or a volunteer pastor. So I was deciding which way should I go, and I ended up deciding to separate platforms. Like on LinkedIn, of course, it says that I'm a volunteer pastor somewhere, but mostly people know me just as a digital guy. And I don't talk about a lot of. You may hear that I'm a Christian how I speak, but I don't directly say it there. Then on Facebook, it's a mixed bag. I talk about both this and that. And then I have pages where I'm entirely a pastor and I'm not a digital marketer at all. It's scripture and verses and quotations from men of God, that type of thing. So I've had to separate. So if you have not decided like who are you and who are you becoming, it's best for you to then be talking about family, your things around you. Sorry about that noise. There's noise coming in the basement. Sorry about that. So you want to be decided on who you are and what you want to become before you start sharing things that you do great. And I'll give you this example. There is a young lady who was speaking on social media and saying that NGOs, which is non-governmental organizations, they steal people's money, they abuse people, they do it for their own benefit. And she was talking, like ranting. And of course, a lot of people came, they commented, it was an exciting discussion. But then some time later, she was sitting in an interview in an NGO, and people had looked at their profiles. And they brought this post and say, we think you're a good person. We think that you fit this position, but we want you to know your position, whether your position on this topic has changed around non-government organizations. And they brought up that post and they showed it to her. And then that kind of paralyzed her. And because she lost her bearings and her composure in that interview after that thing was brought on, she then ended up not landing the job. So you want to be sure about what you are sharing. Of course, you want to say, we'll delete, we'll do this, we'll do away with it. I have a serious profile, then I have a fake one that I used to do my shenanigans and stuff like that. But what you may not know that some of the people around you will know. One of the realities to share with you is that opportunities come to you through people. And I'll say that again. I'll say opportunities come to you through people. The Bible says in, I feel like I'm preaching now. The Bible says in Luke 6:30 that give, it shall be given back to you, whatever. And you think that it will say God will give you. The Bible actually says men will give you. So the opportunities and the blessings that God brings, they come through people. And if the people who are supposed to bring it the goodness have a wrong impression of, or they think that you're a slave pin, or they think that you are a guy who lacks direction, or they think that you are into an extravagant life, they will then reserve some of the opportunity that they were supposed to bring to you. So the impressions that people have about you, they matter. I know as amateur K and young guys, we want to say, yeah, it's my life, I don't care, I'm just going to do it anyway. But really, for you to be employed, somebody has to say, give him a job. For you to even be helped in business, somebody has to put a recommendation. He's a good guy. Let's work. For me to be here, I got a recommendation from another lady. She recommended me to be here. So relationships matter, and the impression that you have in other people's lives are really, 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 really important. All right. So the third thing that you do with social media on how to use it is that you have to interact with people. You are not I don't want to say that you are not an important person, but I want to say that you have to kind of humble yourself and interact with people online. One of the ways, if you don't have anything to say and you still want to have a good impression about you, is that you have to comment where sense has been said. There is a lady I know who works in one of the financial institutions in Zimbabwe. She rarely says anything on LinkedIn, but she comments on everything that important people say. And I've seen her being invited for presentations, for talks and all this. And all those things may not matter to you, but until you grow to a point where you realize that your network is one of the most important things that you. So you want to connect with people and comment with people. Actually, in the morning today, we do sell online courses like digital marketing courses. So a few months back, I think around February or March, there's a lady who came to my inbox on LinkedIn. So platforms like LinkedIn are safe in the sense that you can accept even people that you don't know to join your network, because people are generally there for professionalism. And of course, if anyone is abusing that, you're also free to unfollow them and block them and all those kind of things. So I connect with, I think I have about 25,000 followers on my LinkedIn profile, which is quite huge for LinkedIn. So somebody could ask me a question, and then they send me a long text. Trust, I've got a situation at work. This is what my boss is doing. I'm out of options. I need to meet my sales target. My marketing is not working. Please advise. So I said, I think this deserves an audio conversation. I then gave her my number. Then we had a WhatsApp call. And then we spoke about the situation and everything. I gave ideas on what she could do. So of course, yeah, she went back to her life. I went back to mine. After a long time, I think about 3 weeks ago, she sent me a lesson. She said, Trust, I noticed that you do sell courses. I moved from that job. I'm now in a better company. I'm now able to pay for myself to do that course. So can I please enroll in whatever? And then she came to the office today. And I saw her for the first time today. We met, we chatted. We had a long discussion. She paid for the course without hesitation because we had a digital relationship, if you would say. And I was interacting with her and helped her in a situation as much as I could. And she has become a customer in the real and physical world. So this is why it becomes important for you to interact with people online. Then the last part, which really applies to people who run businesses, is that you have to advertise. I'll tell you for sure that in the social media world today, the organic talk, like I post a picture, unless if it's really social, it doesn't do well. All right. So because of artificial intelligence, Facebook can tell what your picture is about. They can also tell what you wrote about, whether you're promoting something or you're selling something. And because of these AI algorithms and whatever technology that I don't want to bother you with, they also reduce how far things that are purely commercial go in terms of the reach. So what happens is a lot of business then find social media not to be so paying on the organic side or the natural side. So what I want to say now is you should use social media to advertise your business. And there is a paid version of doing it. Those of us who manage pages or access pages, there's this thing that often comes that say, boost this post, boost that post. And I would say as a comment that boosting is like 5% or 3 to 5% of what you could do with social media in terms of the paid version, the paid advertising side of social media. Those of us who are doing business on social media by making posts, I'll be very frank and polite at the same time. We are not really doing social media for business. Social media for business is paid for. And when you pay for it, it brings results. I'll give you a classic example of somebody that we helped a few weeks ago. This is a school which does Cambridge exams and all these type of things in this environment. So they came to us that we want to grow and all that. So we set up an advert. And because they didn't have a lot of things in place, we ran a Facebook ad on their Facebook page and directed people to their WhatsApp number. And within a space of over 7 days, they were looking for Form 1 students for 2024. Within a space of about 7 to 14 days, I don't remember the exact numbers, they had more than 66 people who had expressed interest in their position. So if you are not doing the paid version and you are saying you are doing business, you are not serious, and you are not going to get the results you want. And the rest of the benefits that there are billions of people, there is works, it doesn't work, you will not have the result. So that's how you also use social media as a business. Pay for it, otherwise it's not going to really bring you much benefits. All right. So moving on is that I'm going to talk about how social media can help you advance your life. All right. Firstly, is how do you advance your life with social media? Number one is that you have to connect with people who share your interest, people who have the same direction. There's a saying that when you want to walk far or you want to walk a long distance, get company, walk with somebody else. When you want to walk fast, then walk alone. So in life, I think you have to decide on things that you want to walk alone and then on things that you want to walk far. For example, if you want to be a Christian for a long time, you have to have Christians around you. You can't have people half Christians and half unbelievers as friends and then be a long-term Christian. It doesn't work because Christianity is a long walk. It's not a dash. It's not a rush that by this is to be done. If you live up to President Robert Mugabe's age, I'm sure you have a long time. You have a long time. It's going to be a long walk. And if you live up to President Mugabe's age, some of us have 70 years to live. Some of us have 50 years to live. So that's a long walk. So you want to follow and connect with people who are in your space. All right. So if you want to be an engineer as a student, or you are learning to engineer, or you're in high school, you want to be an engineer, or you want to be an accountant, you want to connect with these people online. You want to be able to see what they're saying. You want to see the places they're going. You want to be able to get some wisdom and knowledge from you. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to follow entrepreneurs. And I'll make a comment about entrepreneurship to say that it is important to connect with people who are not too far from you. You know, with all due respect and everything, I want to say that when you are learning entrepreneurship, and then people use an example of Google and say Google was started by these guys, it's brilliant. But the entrepreneur we're talking about is somebody who I saw a video on our YouTube channel earlier of this guy who started a construction company. He was telling a story, you know, that very fantastic story. God bless you, brother. And I thought about him and I said, this guy, where he is today, and probably where I am, I'm probably a few steps ahead of him in terms of my entrepreneurship game. And I'll have a lot of things to say to him, which he can relate to, as compared to connecting with entrepreneurs who have been entrepreneurs for the past 40 years, who are far ahead. And what they say is so high that doesn't make sense to where you are. So you want to connect with people who are within your space and who are not too far ahead of you, and even people who are behind you in terms of your journey. You want to connect with people who also learn from you. Why? Because as people ask you questions, like I can see some people questions popping up on the chat box, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to have some thought processes going through my mind as I answer the question. And as I'm talking to us this afternoon, I'm going to learn from this whole interaction, because I'm learning, I'm trying to share something. So teaching actually makes you better at what you do, which most people don't know. So you want to connect with people so that you will share the same interests, so that you can walk the long walk of entrepreneurship. You can walk the long walk of becoming a specialist doctor. You can walk the long walk of becoming, if you want to be a man of God, you can walk that long walk because you are associated with people who are going in the same direction with you. Then the next thing is that you want to learn new things. There's new things all the time in your space. There's new things all the time in whatever you do. There's new things in God. There's new things, new revelations in working with God. There's new things in marketing. Like somebody asked the question, which I saw, that artificial intelligence, it helps. It helps a lot. If I was not using AI, I'll probably work for 16 or more hours a day. But because I use AI, I work 8 or less hours a day because I use artificial intelligence. And so many of the things that I do. So you want to learn new things. It's important to connect with people who are ahead of you so that they teach you, they show you new things. You see, this person was at a conference and the topic was how artificial intelligence and accounting All right. And then you say, hey, how does it work? You go and Google it out, check it out, and then you know that this thing exists. Sometimes all you need to learn something new is to know that it exists. Then you do the research yourself and you move forward. Then the next thing is to advance your life, you find job opportunities on social media. I've shared earlier on how we hire on LinkedIn only. When you send your CV to email and all this, it's okay, but we do hire on LinkedIn. And there are so many jobs there, and that people find and people connect to. So if you're not on LinkedIn and a job seeker, I consider you unserious with kindness. All right. Then the next thing is that you build your personal brand. If you Google your name, I want to give you a challenge to go and put your name on Google and say search. I don't know if you are finding a job tomorrow, people will give you, if you're employed already, will they give you a current job back if you Google your name and what you see there? So you want to create a good brand. All right, you want to create a good brand. Who is Trust? Trust is a trusted person. He is not stolen from anybody. Trust has been engaged by Higher Life Foundation under Young and Dynamic. So a big brand like this ones can trust him to share with people. So other brands are also going to trust me with their young people and with their churches and with their businesses to teach them to do whatever, because they've seen that you trust as a brand can be trusted and can be worked with by high profile people like you. All right. So you want to build that personal brand online. You want to create that impression that is good, that's going to take you for the long haul, and that's going to help you go further and far. And then the next thing that I will talk about, I think I have about 10 or so minutes, 5 or so minutes, then we go into question and answer, is how can you use social media to help your entrepreneurial efforts? That's what I will talk about. So firstly, probably I should talk about the career part as well and just bring them all together. So firstly, the entrepreneurship side is you want to connect with potential customers and partners. When you talk about, I do this, people inbox you, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you? And I want to say that from my experience in helping businesses grow and all that, it is easier to build a personal brand than to build a company's brand. I'll say that again. It is easier to grow a personal brand. Like if I'm going to have followers, I have more followers on LinkedIn than Afro Digital has, than my company has, because people connect with people. So those of us who are founders or leaders of businesses who shy away from doing things on social media, it's probably because you have more things you are known for. You have this whole identity crisis, as in you are not sure whether people should know you as this or that. But what you're actually doing is you are disadvantaging your business, because people would have brought business deals to you directly. Say, Trust, I know you do social media. Can you help me to do this and this and this? And then after we have agreed that Trust can help them, then they will say, Trust, what's the name of your company? So, my company is called Afro Digital. It's different from somebody says, hey, I'm looking for Afro Digital. I hear that they do this and that. So building your personal brand and you getting known to be good at something is far much easier than your company being known to be good at something. So you may want to connect with potential customers and also partners. Be able to partner with people in other regions of the world. Be able to partner with businesses who have your customers within your space. One marketing tip I'll give for somebody who's listening is that identify businesses who have your audience but are not competing with you. Like if you're selling something to students, then identify organizations who have students on their platforms or with their network, but they are not selling what you do, or they are not a direct competition. Excuse me. So you want to connect with potential partners as well. Then the next thing is that you want to use social media to market your product and services. This is the paid version side that I spoke earlier, that you want to spend. The budgets can be as little as $1 a day when you're starting. As you grow bigger and bigger, it becomes more and more expensive. And of course, if you're getting your money back and more, then it becomes worth it. Then you want to generate sales and leads. That's how you can use social media to grow your business. But for business, I'll say it again, if you're not doing the paid version of it, you are not really making the most of it. Then Maybe lastly, section I will share lastly is advancing your career. Is firstly, network with professionals in your field, connect with network professionals in the field and learn from them and all that. Then secondly, showcase your skills and experience. And when I started this, when we started this, I shared that Christians suffer from timidity. And I want to talk about showcasing your skills and experience. There's a time that I used to talk about this quite strongly a few years back, in that, you know, one of the reasons why people don't go far in life is because they are not known to be good at what they do. You know, I'll use this story to illustrate my example. One day I was driving somewhere and I saw this old man. He looked, he wasn't very clean, if I can be maybe polite. He wasn't very clean. It looked like maybe someone who has a mental problem or is not so well. Maybe he's got some issues, you know. He wasn't look so he really, but the way he was waving at the car, it was not a busy road. So I thought maybe there's something wrong. So I slowed down and I spoke to him, say, what's going on? And he said he was going here and here, and my heart was clear. So I gave him a ride. So he got in. So he started to speak in English. I said, Trust, how are you? Sorry, he didn't know my name. I said, how are you? Is it, how's going on? Where do you work? He was asking very intelligent questions. So after 5 to 10 minutes of talking as we're going, I asked him, said, you are a very intelligent person. What happened to you? Why are you like this? And I'll share a very sad story. I hope I'm not going to give any details so that maybe you will not be able to identify who the person is. So this man then said to me, Trust, I was CEO Africa for one of the banks, UK banks, a bank that came from the UK. He was CEO Africa for one of those banks some time ago. He bought properties. He was a rich man. He lived a very comfortable life. A lot of things happened, sad things happened to him. And he has lost most of the things. He still has some properties, but his life is really down and out. So I asked him a question. I said, as a CEO with so much experience, why don't you start teaching young CEOs on how to run their companies and how to make decisions? And then he said, my problem is that people don't know that I know. People don't know that I know. And I said, wow, man, you have a network. Then I said, no, my network is old, because it was an older man. People that I knew, they are old and all this. And I thought to myself, if this man was going to get an audience today at one of these CEO conference and talk about his life experiences and whatever and all this, a lot of them would pay to hear it. Because the fact that you are affluent today, the fact that you are doing well today, does not mean that you'll be doing well at 70. And if you meet a man who has been a millionaire but is nothing at 70, you want to listen to him. So I thought to myself, this man is not known to be good at this. So that's why he's even walking on this road. He has driven more expensive cars that are more expensive than the one that he's in right now. And I saw that as a people, we need to be able to position ourselves, to showcase your skills, showcase what you can do, showcase what you are good at. It's not pride. Let me put it that way. It's not pride. It's not self-promotion is kind of evil. It's kind of demonic, but you are positioning yourself to create enough opportunities for yourself. On my WhatsApp, I get messages from strangers. People have been referred by this person. Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Big opportunities. And I don't want to lie to you. If I was not known, like a lot of us have been introduced to me today, and I'm sure you Google me, you find me, and you have some conversations with me from this conversation. So I'm also positioning myself in this talk, in this presentation, as somebody who knows all these digital things that I'm talking about. So I am advising you that you need to showcase your skills and you need to showcase your experiences. If you are good at makeup, show that you're good at makeup. If you are good in your accounting, you have been helping small businesses to thrive, show that you're good at that. Show that you're good at show it. When you don't show it, we don't know. Not all of us have prophetic gifts to receive such messages from God that we should call you to help us with whatever problem, but show it so that people can contact you with the opportunities that are relevant to you. Then the next thing is that you want to find job opportunities. You want to find job opportunities. There are jobs online. sometimes, and that people don't get the right person. I'll share with you this story, and I hope my stories are fine. Recently, one of the top financial companies in Zimbabwe, I know the people who work there, they called me and said, Trust, we had an interview for digital marketers. We had 600 applicants. We screened about 15 of them. We had an interview, but we are sad to tell you that of the 15 people that we shortlisted and interviewed, we didn't find the right person. And what were they looking for? They were looking for skills. And in this world today, academic knowledge is very important. And I've been to university myself. But one of the most critical things now is skills. So I'll also share with this to everybody who is listening to say that academic knowledge makes you a disciplined person. It makes you a person who can think, who can solve problems, and who can handle things under pressure. And trust me, for efficiency in any job, I would hire a graduate to do it. It will be done very well. Trust me for that. But I'll tell you something. When it comes to things getting done in the office, things getting done in the job, or even in our own office, we do not hire people for their education. We hire people for what they can provide the company with. We hire people for the skills they have. So I want to urge you, actually learn skills. So if you are a marketer, for example, learn the skill of Facebook advertising. Learn it, master it, become a pro in it. If you're a marketer, for example, learn the skill of getting websites seen on Google, which is called SEO. Learn it, master it, and be good at it so that when you are given a chance, okay, you say you can do this, do it. You are actually able to do it. If you say you are what do you call them? These people who draw house plans, like engineering drawing, I'm forgetting the technical graphics, whatever. If you say that's what you do, then we should be able to get you to draw a plan that works, that gets approved at the council. Learn the skills involved in your career. It will take you very far. And then show that you know, because eventually people need things done. I usually laugh with my accounting friends and say, you know why a lot of accounting graduates are on the street and they are not working? Because they speak jargon. When they come to a small business, say, what you do, an accountant, the guy says, well, we just have $300, $400 a day income. So why do we need an accountant for? And this guy should have rather said, when you hire me, I'm going to save you from all these quarrels with Zimra and all these quarrels with tax collecting, tax authorities in your country. I'm going to do away with all that. I'm going to sort that out for you. Tax is an issue for small businesses, especially when they want to get VAT and all those kind of higher things. And if this guy positioned himself as a person who can help with those things, it's gonna get hired because he's now spoken of a skill that the business needs, not necessarily an accounting profession. And I hope this helps somebody, and I hope this is useful for somebody. So yeah, I would encourage you, while we are now waiting for questions and to be tabulated and to be brought forward for discussion, I would urge you to use social media with high discretion. There is evil out there, and God willing, maybe all things being together, next week we'll talk about the misinformation, how to judge content on social media, how to detect lies, and how to verify things on social media, and how you can save yourself from being gullible. And bad examples to avoid good people, and how to identify so many things. We'll talk about it in the misinformation session that we'll have, God willing, next week. But otherwise, I'll urge you, use it to advantage, use it to advance. It's a tool. You can either use it to build, or you can use it to destroy somebody and destroy lives. So yeah, I think my talking will end here while I'm waiting for questions and the MCs to take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Trust, for an awesome presentation. I'm checking if first I'm not connected with some questions. If not, I will proceed. You know, when you were talking about social media presence, I have a question concerning especially the younger generation. You know, that for the past 3 weeks, I'm active on TikTok, I'm active on Instagram. I have seen people being bullied. Yesterday, today there's a post that is trending of a certain lady that they are bullying her because they said she was color blocking. But if we analyze those, the clothes that she was wearing, you could tell that that's the best that she could afford. So now I do have 3,000 people connected. Yes, some are in groups, and some of them are afraid to be available on social media because they are afraid to be being bullied, to being bored, shamed. You know, we cannot afford Rolexes, cars, or better backgrounds to put on social media. So therefore, I'm afraid to be on social media, but I know that social media is important. How best can I put myself out there without the fear of being bored, shamed, or having such kinds of insults?
Brilliant, brilliant questions. Thank you so much for that question. So, firstly, my response would be first, you need to decide why. You know why you're on social media. I say there are evil people out there. There are wolves out there. So you want to decide why you are there. So, for example, maybe I'm a much an older person, so I've got more solid reasons for being there than maybe a younger person. So, in case where you're talking about somebody who has decided on what they want to be there for, I'll give you a classic example. There's a lot of personal things that I do not share on social media. All right. I do not share. When I go out to a restaurant, I do not take pictures of the food and put it on my status immediately. I do not share. My wife gives me a present of a watch that I think is nice, and then I post it on social media, and then somebody says it's fake. Why did you post it first before people tell you it's fake? So there's a danger in oversharing, where young people feel that when they're saying things on social media, then it helps them look better and look better than others. That's where the shaming then comes from. But I would advise most of us to take a lot of our lives off platforms, off social media. Do most of your interactions with your friends where you are, and avoid a lot of oversharing. At the same time, one of the things that would happen is when you start experiencing these negative waves of bullying and whatever, my advice would be for you to stop defending yourself. Just unplug for a while. Unplug from there on. You will never overcome them by answering them. You will never win, because it's thousands of people talking and you trying to defend. You will never win. So I would advise you to unplug. It's fine to go offline for 6 months. I know people who have been off social media for the whole year, even for 3 years, and it brings sanity, it brings peace, it brings a lot of tranquility, and you reconnect even with people far better when you remove all these gadgets and social media from your life. So that's what I would say. And I hope this response is answers the question and is good enough.
It does, Pastor, and thank you for that. I like how you have put it across to say that know why you are on social media. I think the why is the big question that young people need to answer. We know that our social media in Zimbabwe thrives on drama, thrives on controversies, thrives on things like porn and the like. So if you know the why, then you know how you should behave. And I have a question here from someone who knows why they are on social media. I'd love to believe so. And he is saying, I am a model. So they already know why they're on social media. They're a model, and he's saying, how best can I grow my social media and improve on my social media marketing? Some of the things you have mentioned, but it will be good to just, re-emphasize. Yeah.
All right. So, so the assumption, because you are here, I believe and guess that you are a Christian model, and that's how I'm going to answer. The way to do it is, firstly, you want to definitely, I think you know this already, you want to take very good pictures of yourself. And as a model, platforms that you would really do well for yourself is probably Instagram, and you want to be on Facebook. I don't know. The question that I would throw back to you, I don't know if I'll ever get an answer, is as a model, you should also know where the value is. If you're a model, how do you make your money? All right, because I think I'm taking this as a career. You just don't want to have a huge following. It's important, but you want to have a following which brings value to you. So in marketing, there's something that they call buyer personas, where buyer personas are end users or users for your services or your product. So as a model, who are your buyer personas? And basically, there are those who hire you to model for them. Like if you're going for clothing shoots and stuff, you want to connect with those who maybe hire you to do music videos and such things. You want to connect with where the money is come from. Those are the people you want to connect. So there's something called social networking. Connect with these people. When you attend events, like I think today there was Unplugged or something like that. When you attend those things, then network with the right people in those spaces and take selfies and whatever with them and post and tag their connections so that there is an association between you and some other big brands. And anytime you have a gig, don't say, well, I've taken pictures for you, so you have to pay me to also share on my social media. If you are growing, then you have to share them for free so that other people can also see that you are being hired by those brands, and then they will also gain confidence in you and start hiring you out. That's how you can also grow your social media. Then another thing that is you want to add sense to your modeling. What I mean by add sense is add something which is social or something which is commercial. You want to actually probably teach businesses how to use models that most of them don't know. Why should a boutique in CBD Harare, in Tagawira Street, why should it hire a model? They don't know why, and you want to teach them why they should hire a model. And as you teach people, they see why they should hire you, and they will trust you because you have taught them. Apparently, teaching is one of the best methods to generate leads, almost in any industry. If you're in construction, teach people how to avoid being duped by builders. Teach them how to construct a house in the most affordable way, but it's going to be very good. When you teach that, people hire you because they trust you and because you know what to do. So I hope these few tips could maybe bring some value. Maybe.
Absolutely, absolutely, very true. And I like how you simplify these things. The way you just explained them, you have made them so simple for me to understand. There's a question from this should be Luke. He's talking about LinkedIn, and I don't know if we need to have a whole session on LinkedIn. He's talking about how there is a premium version of LinkedIn. I don't know if you know anything about that, Pastor.
Yeah. So LinkedIn has it's a network for professionals.
Right.
So you go in, they ask you, where are you working? What's a professional? Which school did you go to? Did you graduate when? And stuff. That's how you build your profile there. So it has a paid version where people pay. I think the last time I checked was $59 a month. Most people in our space would not pay for LinkedIn, right? I used to take. I'll tell you a story about LinkedIn paid, the paid version of it. And I'm not saying everybody should pay, but I'm just telling you this story to show that there's a difference. So one of the things is LinkedIn shows you who opened your profile. So if somebody goes to my LinkedIn today and it will tell me that Pastor Mnashe opened your profile, and then I'm able to see that maybe he's interested. So if we are already connected, I could send you a message, say, hey, are you looking to do something social media? And then I could start a conversation. So one day, I took the trial. So they give trials if you want to, a 30-day trial for that paid version. So I took a trial. This time I was doing that Google thing that I was talking about. So I took a trial of LinkedIn, and then I posted about me going to a high school. I don't even remember. I think it was Glenview High 1 or something. I think I went to Glenview High 1 to do a training there, and I was saying it's the largest school in Africa. I don't remember. There's some statistics about Glenview High 1 that I was mentioning. And then there's this organization called, I'm forgetting the name. It's an Africa-wide organization for students. They teach entrepreneurship and all that. So the director, who was in Ghana, then went to my profile, and I saw that she had viewed my profile. And after that, I sent her a message to say, would you consider having a partnership between this Google project and the organization so that we're able to reach more schools? That led to a partnership that trained over 8,000 students in Zimbabwe. So it works that way. But the paid version is for you to view everybody. So if you are not paid, they will show you 9 people from Econet viewed your profile, 9 people from CBZ, but they will not show you who. If you are paid up, they will show you who. Another thing about the paid up is if you are running an event, they can even give you the list of all the people who subscribe to your event so that you can talk to them later. So it has a lot of advantages, but if you are starting, I'd say don't pay. Just master the free one first and then pay when it's really necessary.
Absolutely. And I think this also answered Luke's question. Luke was just asking if how he would, tap into that space. So I think the easier way to do it is pay for it, and then you will be able to remove the limitations you're asking about, Luke. But the advice that you got from here is first master the free one, and then you can always move to the paid one, right? So as we come to an end, Pastor, do you have any advice that you want to give to young people? Is there anything that you want us to prepare in preparation for next session? Any research, any questions that we want to prepare, that you want us to prepare?
Yeah, so my advice would be don't put your life on social media. Use it to do what you want to do, but don't put your life there. Don't share every minute and every moment on it. Even your status, it's social media. Don't put your things out there that much. Use a lot of discretion. If you have nothing to say, take a quotation from some important person and put it there. Don't share where you are and all those things. It's not necessary. Then the thing that I'll say for next week is, I think you want to find out how to identify fake posts, fake accounts, all right? How to identify fake accounts, how to identify fake news sources, right? You want to identify those, how to verify, how to check. You can do a research. Then the second assignment is, I want you to Google your name and just to see how good looking or how bad looking it is. If your name is not found on Google at all, depending on your age, it's really bad. For somebody who is above 25, 30, you are active in a work or career or entrepreneurs, Google says you don't exist. It's very bad, right? And then for somebody who is very young, you don't need to rush to get all the social media platforms. You don't need to. And then maybe I'm getting my final tip, which is reduce your time on gadgets. Reduce your time on gadgets. You don't need, these phones are really good, they are nice, but they are addictive. There's a feature on most social media platforms called endless scrolling. You'll never finish scrolling Instagram. You'll never finish scrolling Facebook. And it's designed to make you stay there for 5 hours. Most of us don't pass in school because we are on social media. Don't do well with our assignments because we are just checking statuses at 4 a.m. in the morning. You don't even read the Bible and pray because the first thing you check is your WhatsApp. So discipline yourself and turn it off. Go on flight mode for a while, just to be a normal human being. Don't give yourself to destroy it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Pastor, for those calming words of wisdom and words of guidance. I mean, you were speaking right to my soul when you were giving these last words. Thank you very much, Pastor. We look forward to see you next week. And as we are about to go, before I can ask Loma to come back, I'll ask the host to unmute my other gadgets. I've just switched on a video on my other gadget, so please unmute me. I've got a surprise that I want to show everyone before I can leave this particular space that I am on. There I am.
Of course, thank you. Right, so I'm going to take you on a journey, guys. I'm just going to walk and take you on a journey to show you what's happening and to show you how powerful our young and dynamic family is. Last year we had a lady called Mary who was a young and dynamic, and she's no longer part and parcel of Young and Dynamic. She's alumni, and she is here. They're doing some amazing things. Thank you for organizing the bride. She organized the bride. So Young and Dynamic alumni, or rather HLF alumni, they're having their bride as we speak at Vinona, 58 ups. So you're going to hear a lot of music in the background. but I want to let you know that your governors, this is what they are doing currently here at 58 Alps. So I'm very sorry about the noise, but with me here is, I know you guys know this guy. Do you know this guy? If you know this guy, just text in the chat box and let us know who he is. Yes, it's Governor Billy. So these guys are having fun over here, and we have some sisters over here. Why is my video coming out like that? Let me try and sort out my video as well. Okay, I can't sort it out, but anyway, you can see my sisters that are over here. People are just having fun, and they are getting together to know each other. Hello, guys. Do you want to say hi to the guys on YND? By the way, all these people you're looking at, they are degreed with their food over here. Trying to start my pictures of food, but anyway, we are doing it. And we do have more of our brothers and sisters right at the back that are just having fun. They were here with us on Young and Dynamic. Now they're alumni and they're just doing the amazing things. So thank you very much, everyone, for connecting. I'll hand over time to Loma to just round off and close for us.
Thank you for that, Pastor Mnashi. Thank you for making us feel left out. But anyways, what can we say? Our time will also come. So that being said, thank you so much to Pastor Trust for the amazing session that we had. And as someone who is a social media manager, I can say I got a lot of tips and I learned a lot from this session, such as, being safe on social media and actually knowing why you are there in the first place and not just being there. So from the Young and Dynamic team and myself, would like to thank you so much, guys, for joining us today on this wonderful session. I hope that everyone took something from it and everyone is going to take home a few points. And everyone is going to stay safe on social media. And let us not forget to go on the YND pages on Facebook, Instagram, like, share, and comment, and tell a friend to tell a friend about Young and Dynamic so that we can grow our family. And let's also remember that Global Intercessors is open 24/7. So let's join, pray for ourselves, pray for our nation, and all of that. And also, the Young and Dynamic team, like I said, we really appreciate you guys joining today and we really appreciate your support in everything. So see you next week, same place, same time. And also don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you so much. I will hand over back to the co-host.